Hello, here we are with the third proper mission and the fourth video for Medal of Honor Frontline. Again, in a similar vein to Allied Assault, the second proper set of missions is very similar insofar as it's going to involve U-boats and sabotaging thereof. What is different between Frontline and Allied Assault is that Allied Assault, you are sabotaging a submarine in a port. As we'll get into with Frontline, it's going to be more stowing away on the submarine to sabotage it. Similar, not identical. We're also in France to start instead of Norway, but At any rate, this one's going to start with a briefing, which I'll just let play without speaking over it. After that, I'll have more room to talk about the history here, because it's Medal of Honor doing its own thing, instead of aping Saving Private Ryan this time. With that in mind, let's start the briefing and get into this gameplay.
Good morning, Lieutenant Patterson. It's a pleasure to see you again. You're looking well rested. Good. I'll need you in tip-top shape for your new assignment. You've proven to be quite resourceful, especially your performance most recently in scuttling U-4901. All things considered, you're the ideal candidate for this mission. So let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? The success of the Allied invasion of Normandy prompted an assassination attempt on the Führer. A cadre of high-ranking Nazi leaders planted a bomb during a meeting. Unfortunately, he survived. He's used this attempt on his life to clean house and solidify his power. Whatever remaining sanity the Nazi leadership possessed has been gutted by Hitler's subsequent arrests and executions. He has appointed new leaders more in tune with his insane ideals. That man is bent on sacrificing every last German citizen rather than accept defeat. We need to stop him cold and do it now. Reports from our allies in France suggest that there's been heavy activity in the port of Lorient, a manufacturing facility for their deadly U-boats. It was previously run by one of the would-be assassins. Now Hitler has one of his most trusted advisors in charge. Jimmy, we need to know what's going on at that base. We've arranged for you to be dropped on the outskirts of Saint-Mathieu, where our 101st Division is still encountering some resistance. Intelligence states that a German U-boat is making an unscheduled resupply stop at the seaport there. Our only opportunity to infiltrate this fortified shipyard is by smuggling you aboard this vessel and waiting until it reaches its port. I know it's tight quarters, Jimmy, but for you, familiar territory. We're sending you back to sea, my boy.
That right there was referencing the first Medal of Honor game, if I remember correctly. Which, again, a lot of these early Medal of Honor games, the first one, Frontline, Underground, Allied Assault, they all cover a lot of the same territory. It's not really until you get into, well, honestly, Rising Sun that things start getting different because it goes to the Pacific. We'll be getting to Rising Sun, and if I can get it working properly, Pacific Assault, eventually. And then there's European Assault, but that game's just a bit weird in general. It's a bit more Call of Duty than Medal of Honor in a lot of ways. We'll also be getting to that one eventually. For now, to the mission.
Good morning, Lieutenant Patterson. It's a...
Didn't expect it to do that. I'm not going to narrate this. I'll just leave it on screen long enough for anyone who wants to read it. Working with the French resistance is a fairly common thing in Medal of Honor, again. But at least it's covering something that Call of Duty never really did. I struggle to think of Call of Duty ever actually utilizing the French resistance. Then again, that was one of the big differences between Medal of Honor and Call of Duty back in the day. Medal of Honor was much more about the stealth stuff as opposed to the big set pieces. The final mission of Allied Assault Breakthrough accepted. Okay, Here we go. I do love these paintings they did for this game. Kind of reminds me of Hearts of Iron 3, actually. Or is it more accurate to say Hearts of Iron 3 reminds me of this, I suppose? Well, sucks to be them. Now, if I remember correctly, there's something over... Nope, never mind. Misremembering. Just like with the MG42. Can't zoom, but it doesn't overheat, so it balances. Anyone else want to try me? Oh, that worked. PSA. Kicking grenades is not a smart idea. Then again, neither is charging people with a Colt 45, but you know. Video game logic. Anyone still hiding over here? No, but there is some ammo. Pineapple grenades, pretty common. Basically, every Allied power uses some form of pineapple grenade, even the Soviets did. That bomb messed my aim up. You really need to mess with the sensitivity on this controller. Anyway, fighter bombers like that, pretty common in Normandy. You'd have P-51s, P-47s. If you can strap a bomb to it, it was used as a fighter bomber. Ow.
You go up ahead.
Gotta love being shot in the chest and not even feeling it. Okay. Now, is it Frontline or a different game that has the guy getting interrogated? I don't actually remember. Ow. This is a very bad idea. Where are my grenades going? There we go. Another PSA. Frag grenades are not going to destroy a tank no matter how many you throw out. I love this game, but you can definitely feel the age and stuff like that instead of just giving me like a Panzerfaust or something. Kinda wish you would let me pick up one of the Car 98s just to do something different.
Private, come in. We need fire from that tower. Get up in the tower. They're getting too close over here.
Church towers, pretty common sniper post and for stuff like this. Less so machine guns, but very common sniper post because it lets you get high ground and shoot down below on the enemy. Easier for you to hit them, harder for them to hit you. Not entirely sure how well you can hear me over the machine gun, so I'm trying not to talk while I'm using it. Oh dear. Would love to help you guys, can't see who you're shooting at. Okay, careful, careful. City fighting like this is, as anyone who's watched Enemy at the Gates, as unrealistic as that gets at some points. And this is actually somewhat like Saving Private Ryan too, now that I think about it. But anyway, urban combat. Very difficult, very time-consuming. You have to check your corners, you have to be careful for ambushes. People use wrecked buildings as cover, people will hide in sewers. There's a reason why urban combat is something you try and avoid if you can. And why it very much favors the defender, because as you can see, it's a lot harder to attack when everyone can hide around corners and destroy buildings. If this weren't a video game, I would have been dead several times over. Oh, that 20-year-old AI. Dude. Out of my way. Out of my way. We just gonna stand here staring at each other, or am I gonna have to knock you out? Move. Man. Much as I love this game, it really does show its age. Urban combat is also the exact thing that a carbine or an SMG would be used for. Trying to use a big, full-on bow rifle is not easy in this kind of tight confines. Medal of Honor. The old Medal of Honor and the fat German officers. You can tell the developers were having fun with stuff like that. Though, acceptable targets, so I suppose who can blame them? What are you doing over there? At least the game's giving me ammo this time. Ah, a disabled Tiger tank. Too bad this is an Allied assault and I don't get to drive one of these. Though even that was a King Tiger, I suppose. Leaving aside the old school graphics here. The Tiger tank. Everyone's favorite tank if they don't actually study armored warfare. I really do need to do a video on this at some point, but this isn't really the time for it, so moving along. I was right, this is the one with the interrogation. Unfortunately, you cannot save that guy. What he was doing there was your typical thing. If you're a POW, only give them your name and identification number. That way they don't get anything out of you, and it's technically illegal to torture, so let's try and get more, but sorry, my bad. Yeah, it's fine, I can't actually kill my allies. On the subject of torture, threatening to kill someone, beating them up, tearing their nails out, what have you. That will never give you accurate information. Maybe once in a blue moon. But if you're being tortured, you're going to say anything to get them to stop torturing you. Ow. And then it just gets to, do you actually get anything out of them? Not really. Just wasting your time and guess getting some torture fetish in. Exploding fuel tanks. Common trope in these games. I sincerely doubt that I would have blown that up. But hey, you get what you get with this kind of game. Ah, this is the secret little path. Right, right. Go this way, you can sneak around them and hit them from the side, and not to do with that MG42. Instead, it's my MG42 now. Now, technically I could have used that one, but why get between two of them when I could just flank them? if I can manage to hit the guy. The emulator doesn't have the best sensitivity on the controller, so it's really throwing off my aim. Not that it's easy to aim in Frontline to begin with. Okay, here we go. Onto the submarine. Classic U-boat here, I'll go over that in the next video. But the idea of crawling in a crate to get loaded onto a submarine is just so James Bond, it's hilarious. Also, say goodbye to this Garand and the grenades, because who wants to use a grenade in the middle of a submarine underwater? And if you think this rifle is big now, imagine trying to use it in that thing. Okay. Hey, I managed to get another gold. 11%. Man, I need to adjust this accuracy. Anyway, there was the first part of the U-boat mission in Frontline. I hope you enjoyed. I know these videos are really kind of rambly. I'm just talking about what comes to mind, really. I don't pre-record these, I just play them live. So, for those few of you who watch these videos, I hope you enjoy, and see you in the next one.